on-field presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, a joy to be with them each and every day, and I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck athletics.
Practicing on Autzen Stadium's Rich Brooks Field never gets old. The Ducks were out at practice this morning, a beautiful day in the Willamette Valley, getting ready for a trip east to New Jersey, taking on Rutgers. I'm Joey Mack. You heard the game review with Ryan yesterday, and we have some good news around Oregon football today as we turn the page toward Rutgers. And let me just say, to open up the show, we're going to hear from Coach Lanning. We're also going to talk with Deputy Athletic Director Lisa Peterson and Oregon Volleyball head coach Trent Kersten today. Trent Kersten's squad coming off a tough weekend, similar to Oregon football. And I'll tell you what, you want to win every game. Don't get me wrong. You want to win every game. But it's hard to do that. There's very few teams that have done that in the history of college athletics, not just college football, college athletics. Certainly you want to win every game. But Dan Lanning said it afterwards. The Ducks did not play well enough to win that game against Indiana. And credit to Indiana. I thought Indiana played exceptionally well. I thought Indiana showed me and showed the nation some things. I say that because it's a good reminder. And just look at last year's national champion, that you can learn from a loss. The season is a marathon. You want to win the marathon. I think that's a focus for the Ducks that, to be honest with you, I saw at practice today. Oregon had that fire. Bear Alexander said it after practice today. Malik Benson said it after practice today. Chance to, though, right the ship, get back on track with a win in New Jersey with that 3:30 kickoff at Rutgers, 1:30 pregame show for us across the Oregon Sports Network. Good news, though, for James Ferguson Reynolds, who will be on our pregame show starting at 1:30 from New Jersey. Ray Guy Award Punter of the Week, James Ferguson Reynolds. Congratulations to James Ferguson Reynolds, who has done some creative things, to put it mildly, as a punter for Oregon football. I've really enjoyed watching the way that he goes about his business at practice and how it translates to games. The Ray Guy Award Punter of the Week, James Ferguson Reynolds. A valuable transfer for Oregon's football program this season. All right, now last night, Dan Lanning in his weekly Monday press conference broke down, after watching the film, what the Ducks saw in the loss to Indiana. And also, turning the page, looking at Rutgers. What does he see from the team that is, admittedly, very physical, but they just have not quite broken through yet? I listened to Greg Schiano, head coach for the Scarlet Knights, press conference yesterday, and he said it, that they're at a competitive level. They're not at a championship level. Oregon's at a championship level right now. So if you're Rutgers, chance to prove something at home in what is a sellout in New Jersey when the Ducks come to town. Dan Lanning, weekly press conference. Brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Industry Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Coach Lanning.
All right. We've got a great opportunity in front of us to go play a team in Rutgers that does a lot of things that really challenge you. Coach Schiano is a guy that I've got tremendous respect for. His name speaks for itself, what he's been able to do over the years. His teams, when you watch them play, they play with a brand of toughness. They challenge you in a lot of ways. Obviously, he has a history in special teams of being very aggressive when it comes to punt block, but you see it in all phases. You see it on defense. They're in your grill. They play tight coverage. You see offensively, they got real weapons outside. A wide receiver, one of the better running backs, if not one of the best running backs we've seen this year and the way they're playing right now. So it'll be a really fun challenge for us. Our guys came to work today and excited to see them get back out there in the field.
The first time with this group, you're seeing them respond to a loss. What's the vibe been like over the past 48 hours and how these guys are coming to work?
Yeah, that guys ready to go attack it. That nobody was satisfied with the result on Saturday, and there's a lot of pieces that could have been better, but these guys came to work today.
Similar question, but specifically with Dante, how has he handled it? Kind of obviously an opportunity for him to take kind of a leadership role. I'm just curious on what you've seen there.
Excuse me. Yeah, I think he's handled it the right way. Everybody looks internally and then goes back and says, okay, what can I have improved on? What can I have done better? And I think he saw a lot of moments in that game that he could have played to a higher degree and what he's capable of. He's proven that he's a good quarterback, and he didn't play to his best on Saturday. He knows that. We didn't put him in the most advantageous situations on Saturday as well, but he came in today and attacked it really well.
Outside of a win, what does success look like for you on Saturday? Do you feel like you can fix everything you identified from Indiana, or is that something that takes a longer period of time?
Well, I don't think you look at that game and say everything was broken either, right? So it's not like we're a team that has a million. We lost to a really good team. We're tied in the fourth quarter. We don't finish the game. Did we play our best game? No, we didn't play our best game in the first half. But what success look like? It looks like improvement. It looks like us getting better, not making the same mistakes we made in that last game, doing a better job identifying what's working for us and what's not as coaches, right? And doing a good job of leaning in on what's working for us and then having good answers for what the opponent's doing.
You mentioned after the game on Saturday, Jordan getting a hot hand at running back at one point in that first half, and we know about what he's done in the short yardage, but how is that role going to continue to increase for him between the 20s and just getting more of those regular touches at running back?
Yeah, I think he's earned those opportunities. He did a good job at times. There were some runs that were really successful for us on Saturday, and there were some runs that weren't, and that's scheme related, but it's also the way some of our backs do a really good job at certain runs, and some of the runs that Jordan does a really good job at showed up for us on Saturday.
In terms of the things that Dante could have done better, and looking back at it, what were some of those things? Were those things that he just missed and didn't see at the time, or those things that Indiana was doing defensively to kind of mess with what his reads might have been? Or
probably a combination of both, right? But we got off of some of our initial reads a little too quick at times. Didn't key through the things that we're supposed to key through at times. The routes weren't always ran the right place, right? So the guy that he's supposed to be throwing the ball to and he's expecting to be in a certain spot wasn't where they needed to be. So it's always easy to say, oh, that's the quarterback or the call, right? The wideouts need to be in location where they're supposed to be at the moment, right, when he's looking to deliver the ball. And so all those things add up, and those are things we'll sharpen up.
Coach, you talked about it a little after the game, just the tempo of the game in Indiana. It felt like, during the 2-minute drill and the offensive scoring drive, you guys ran a fast up-tempo type offense, and you guys seemed to have control. Outside of that, it seemed that Indiana had a little more control of the tempo. How important is it going to be to control the tempo of the game on the road, especially when you're looking to get back in the win column?
Yeah, I think tempo is something you always want to vary. There was moments we weren't really fast and it wasn't good, right, on Saturday, and there's moments we went fast and it was really good, right? And you got to be able to do a little bit of both, right? That's part of it. More than anything, we just got to go out there and execute and do what we're coached to do, and then make sure that we're coaching the proper things in those moments. So very important.
You have two of the better contested catch guys on the outside, and you're going to see probably all year. What's the challenge there? And I guess just that Brandon played really well. You guys rotated the other spot. Kind of where you at with the other corner?
Yeah, we're going to keep continue to make sure that we have guys that can go out there and compete at a high level. I think we have guys that can play winning football. Brandon's playing at a really, really high level right now. He's earned the opportunity to be on the field as much as we can have him there, as long as he's fresh. But they do a great job. This is, as far as teams that we've played that throw the intermediate passing game, they have one of the deepest depths of target in our league. These guys really push the ball down the field. Their quarterback delivers a really good ball, and they've got great size outside. And then they have a slot receiver that can flat out run, right? So this is a team that has really good talent. Like I said, outside that you have to match up well from a body standpoint. You have to be able to defend contested catches. They'll throw the 50-50 ball and expect their guy to come down with it consistently.
You guys ran the ball 21 times in the first half and did pretty well, especially between the tackles. You only ran 9 times in the second half. Was that the result of an adjustment at halftime? And if so, what did you see?
Well, we had limited opportunities to in the second half because we didn't do a great job getting drives running, but we should absolutely have look for more opportunities to run the ball and do some of the things that were effective.
With their receivers and their ability in the contested catches, when you're coming off a game where Surratt was able to do what he did, does that motivate your cornerbacks and stuff more to meet that challenge this weekend?
I think you always want to perform your best.
With some of the pass protection issues this past weekend, Dan, how much was assignment related versus execution related? By assignment, I mean calls.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't give you a percentage, right? Their guy beat our guy. Like there was always somebody necessarily probably accounted for, or we're throwing hot off of them. We did a good job throwing it hot at times, to Gary on an empty protection where we were hot and it was one of our bigger gains of the day. And then there were times we didn't do a great job of that or redirecting protection. So it's a combination of both.
Yesterday was obviously a big change in the college football landscape. I'm just curious what your perspective is on just like the coaching change and just your position as head coach, just how quick things can change from a head coaching position, if you have any perspective on that.
Yeah, it's just that's the business that we're in. It's a heavy pressure position. There's high expectations. Fan bases want to win. They expect that. There's some really good coaches that it's really about what have you done lately, and that's college football, and that's the world we live in. So it is what it is, right? There's not a lot that you can say about it other than go do your job and try your best to go win games.
Yeah, what makes Rutgers' run game unique, and their running back? What makes him unique?
Yeah. They do a great job, with their stretch. They run, some wide zone variations, and they run some inside zone. So they have great complements to their run game. They don't have a lot of, indicators in the run game, which allows them to take the ball multiple directions. And they do a great job getting north and south. When they make a decision, they hit the hole and they hit it with violence. So really good run game. And then it's built off of similar to some of the stuff we saw last week with RPOs down the field. If you load the box, they got the ability to throw it to the guys outside and take advantage of it.
Kyler Casper was listed as out for the season on their pregame availability report. I just wondered if you could go into more detail there.
Yeah, I had an injury to his foot and ended up having surgery on that, so he won't be available for us, unfortunately.
Y'all caused so much defensive havoc last season, Dan, and at times certainly have this season. But how do you feel like the havoc rate from the front seven in particular and just getting home more consistently? How do you feel about that so far?
It could certainly improve. And then again, it's a little bit sometimes dictated by who you're playing and how quickly they get the ball out and what they do.
One of the guys defensively that's really popped recently has been Bear. Just want to get your insights and kind of what's allowed him to have so much success, especially on rundowns.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job. He's improved throughout the season. He's a guy, we talk about taking our medicine every single week and saying, what can we improve, what can we get better at? And he's a guy that's done a good job of attacking those things each week and proven to be a guy that can play snaps for us.
Saw Dorian Brew warming up for the first time before this game. What has his recovery been like, and what's he doing to get on the field for you?
Working every day. Yeah, he's working every day, and he's able to practice for us now. He's doing more for us, so excited to continue to see him develop.
Is there a point at which kicking in the kicking game will begin to influence offensive strategy like it did for you guys in 22 and 23?
I think kicking in the kicking game always influences strategy.
Dan Lanning, Oregon football head coach, getting ready for a 3:30 kickoff on Saturday in New Jersey, the birthplace of college football, Rutgers. That's my deep dive into Rutgers knowledge and trivia that we will ask coming up. Lisa Peterson is here. Deputy Athletic Director joins us next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs. And for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs is probably the best you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
It just never gets old, does it? It never gets old to hear shout. A couple years ago when I said, we should put Oregon songs as the bump back music, as we call it, from breaks. Like, we have so many great song choices, different parts of Shout, Coming Home, the Oregon Fight song. And it just puts me in a better mood as we get going today. Lisa Peterson is here, Deputy Athletic Director. Hey, this is like the 4th time that you've been on the show. Wow. Okay.
I think every time since I've been back, we've done the show together.
Don't you think I did that on purpose?
So maybe me leaving was a good thing for our radio relationship.
You can tell. I'll let Lisa tell the story that she's referring to, and then we'll chat.
So Joey has us on about every 6 weeks. Is that approximately
roughly?
Yes. Yeah. And there was a stretch in 21, maybe, where every time I was on the show, and don't get me wrong, I loved, the fill-ins. They were always great, but you were never here. And I started to take it personal. And it felt like it was like 3 or 4 times in a row. Someone would have to double check, but it felt like every time.
It was 3 times in a row.
And so I took it personal.
And then it was 3 times in a row. Then I was back, heard about it. And then there was a time after that.
You were also gone, right? See,
but
so I was right. It was 4 times.
But then, I hate to put it this way, then you were like gone. And I couldn't, and I didn't know if I would ever be able to right the wrong.
And here we are. If this is number 4.
We're 4 in a row that Lisa has been with us.
Yes.
Now,
and it's always a pleasure.
And a new role. Well, we always appreciate you taking the time.
Yes.
Especially in the modern landscape of college athletics. And we've discussed in the past when you've joined us for Athletic Director Tuesday, what's that new role look like? I feel like it's constantly changing every day. Is that still the proper way to describe the update for fans, that it is still constantly changing every day?
Absolutely. And you can follow the headlines to keep up with that. But before we dive in with that, I want to go back to what you said about, the shout, the songs, the Oregon songs. Yeah. So this weekend, I had a friend that I've known for over a decade. She brought her family here. So she has 3 young boys.
Great.
For the first time. And have you ever experienced, I'm sure you have, but experiencing an Oregon football game with people who've never been here before is an amazing experience. Things that I 100% take for granted, and I'm sure, people that go to it every week may feel that same way, but seeing it through their eyes, yes, it's the song, it's the duck entrance, which, by the way, how did he get on top?
So great.
All of that kind of shout, the shout. Again, they even said, obviously, wish we would have won, but her comment to me was, this is a core memory for my boys that will never go away.
I'm so glad that you said that, and even have a loss being the example of that. So
exactly.
There's one game every year where my core group of college friends, these are the guys that were my groomsmen in our wedding.
Okay.
Right. So it just worked out. Pre-season, in July, they picked the Indiana game.
Okay.
So they were like, well, this worked out great.
Exactly.
Right? Game days in town, they got to be college kids again to an extent. Boys, I know you're listening. I realize you're old now. I get it. It's still a little different environment.
Careful with the old. If they're still teammates or colleagues of yours, they're still pretty young. But anyway.
We don't always feel it, though, Lisa. You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
So, but they were here, and they were again, what a cool thing, right? So many cool pieces to a game day.
Right.
I'm glad you said that, because sometimes I'm guilty of this. You said I have not watched an Oregon football game. Think about that.
On TV.
Well, but also seen it through those eyes.
Oh, right.
Because
because you're always working.
I've spent my entire career since my freshman year, where I sat in the student section. That's my sophomore year on. I've been in the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
So I love hearing stories like that.
Absolutely. No, and for people who are like, well, you can see it on TV, it is not the same.
It's not the same.
And I love when all of our students are back. I love when they're all engaged. And again, I understand that it didn't end the way that we wanted it to, but I just hope that people that do come don't take for granted what it is, because it's not like that everywhere, and it's a pretty cool environment.
Well, it's interesting. I I think especially in the era where I've been around Oregon football, for example, right? Like when I got here, it was the sellout streak was on. Like you could not get a ticket.
Right.
There were fights in the dorm room hallways to like get to computers that had the tickets going, right? Like believe me, I lived that, right? So that's what I've known. So it's cool to hear those stories for me because that level of like it's so hard to get to the venue.
Yeah.
That's actually informed – like Jerry and I have talked about this a lot over the years, Jorgie, too. Like that's informed how we do our broadcast.
Right.
Because it's like, no, we're trying to give you as much of a close to the experience as we can.
Yes.
So inside the broadcast, actually, I don't know that I've ever said this publicly, our commercial breaks are purposefully shorter than TV.
So that you can come back
and sometimes we then can recognize what's happening during the timeouts, right? When the baseball team gets recognized for a Big Ten title, cross-country, track, field, all the different things that happened at this Indiana game.
Yes.
We're on the air for that.
Yes.
We don't go away during shout.
Oh, good.
We carry shout on our broadcast. So that's – I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing like being there and having that connection. And, you know, like when we started doing that, I don't remember when I – proposed us doing that and we made it happen. When was that, Scott? Like 4? I think it was coming out of COVID. I was like, we have to stay on the air for
because
shout.
No one was there.
Yeah, we have to stay on the air for shout. We heard from truly those of you that reached out like to all of us, an overwhelming amount of people were like, this is great. Please keep doing that.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
See, this is why we had Lisa on today. This is why
we didn't even prep for that.
Didn't even plan for that.
I know.
Nope.
No.
Nope. My question was, Lisa's job has changed a lot, and
it has.
It has.
It has.
It has.
Yeah. So we can talk about that.
We don't have
What day
to.
is it? No, I mean, what NIL has done is it's opened up a world for a lot of people who may not have had the opportunity to get money while they're in college, but also it's more than that. It's about building their brand and building who they are, and it could set them up for life after this. That has nothing to do with their sport.
Sure.
And, with NIL on the very first day of school, which, shout out to all of our student athletes and students, it's really great having people back despite, all of the traffic and what's going over the bridge and how long it takes to, you got to retrain your brain, how long it takes to get to things. This campus is electric, and I love having all of them. But our very first day of class, we did an NIL expo that Katie Harbert, who I know you've talked about her. What she does for our student athletes. But we did an expo on it, and I was on a panel with a gentleman from Meta, so Facebook, a gentleman from Best Roofing, who is one of our corporate partners who has some deals with student athletes. One of our famous athletes in Aaliyah McCormick, an NCAA champion who is killing it in the NIL. And with Kelly Schuchart running that, who runs Oregon Sports Properties, and just to kind of talk about that, because I think that people misunderstand a little bit what it is. Yes, Aaliyah is an NCAA champion, but the reason that brands are reaching out to Aaliyah is because of her personality.
Yes.
And it's because of who she is. And she was giving so many good nuggets to her teammates and, fellow student athletes on there. Like, that was worth it in and of itself. And I also think that it was good for us to share with our student athletes that you don't have to be on football and you don't have to be the best person on your team to be able to do really well in this space. Right. But I also think those that do really well, and that's why Aaliyah is so good at it, is she's natural at it. It doesn't look like she's trying to do something when it comes to that. Like, it's just her personality coming out. And, for those that are doing well in that space, that's what it is. And with, all of these different people, there was the big announcement that Rob made where we are partnering with Learfield and they're working with corporate partners. They're not always looking for the superstar. They want the personality. They want, someone who is drawn to the camera's drawn to promote their products. And that's what it's all about. And so I think that the biggest thing for me is just the continuing to educate our student athletes about that. And also, if there are brands out there that, want to sell product, look at our personalities on our teams, because I do think that people pay attention to that, and it's a win-win. And that's what the whole thing is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be pay for play.
Well, and I love it because, like, in our realm, call a spade, right? In broadcasting, there have been corporate sponsorships and partnerships for ever.
Right.
Like
that's how you run it.
Yeah, and so we're used to ad breaks, right? We're used to commercials, And now it's a world where we're getting used to student athletes being able to be involved in that.
Right.
I'm all for it.
Yes,
right?
I think it's great.
I hate to say it, but the formula is very similar to what happens here, and our formula has been working for a long time in the broadcasting world.
Right.
Not to toot our own horn too much, but I think it's part of the deal.
Exactly.
Here, right?
Exactly.
I'm glad that you brought up too, like, something that I have found very fascinating, and you're going to know this data better than me, but like in the initial onset of NIL, way more than 50% of deals are for female student athletes.
Yes,
that's
because of the personalities.
It's a huge part of it.
Right.
Huge part of it.
And one of the things that I brought up is, look at Livy Dunn.
Right.
Like her brand, honestly, has nothing to do with how she is as a gymnast. What she has built, it's incredible. And at one point, I don't know if it's still true, she was the highest paid on any NIL platform.
Right.
Because of what she does for brands. And so, and I'm going to be really honest with you, I don't understand how you make money off TikTok. I don't understand how you make money off of X or Instagram or any of that kind of stuff, but I know that you can. And the people that do it well, they can really set themselves up. And then I feel like if you can do that for yourself, look what you can do for a company if that's what you want to do. And so I think that there's a lot of ways to look at this. I know people get frustrated with it, especially if you've been in the industry for a long time like I have, but if you really embrace what it can be, it's incredible. And, again, for our student athletes, and not everyone is interested, and that's okay. But for those that are, there is a lot of upside to it. And I just want to be really clear. It's not because of how good you are in whatever sport you are.
Doesn't
this
hurt,
can change.
but it
for
can change
sure.
you.
But if you could be the absolute best, but if you can't, do the things on camera and it looks like it's forced, that doesn't go over very well.
Right.
So I think that, again, however I feel about it personally, this is where we are. So I want to make sure that we are educating people the best way that we can so that both sides understand how it works, what the upside is, and then just making sure whatever are the articles that are out there about other institutions and what they're doing, that we are following the rules.
Yep.
And that when we, are going to do something, we do what we say we're going to do. And that's who we are, and that's what we've been doing.
Well said. Lisa Peterson, Deputy Athletic Director. Timeout. When we come back, a whole lot more to unpack. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Duck Insider continues, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Lisa Peterson's in the Country Financial Studio. Another round of applause.
Oh, you're so sweet.
For the Deputy
That's
Athletic
why
Director.
I come on the show, Joey.
We
'cause
try.
You make me feel better.
Well, see, we clap for like HJ when he comes in,
well,
and he just
then
goes
I
like,
don't.
yeah, whatever. And I'm like, well, all right, we won't clap for you anymore then. I mean, that's fine. We just try to have fun.
Exactly.
My goal. I said this to all of our new soccer coaches when they got hired. Just, I'm sorry. We're a little loud.
Oh, yes.
But the energy is infectious. And they were like, no, we're good with this. We like it.
Okay, good.
So I'm happy to be in our wing of loud individuals. It works out nice. Can you ever hear us on the other side in the corner
No.
offices? That's good. See,
No, we cannot.
We've done the job. we've done the job. Lisa
Exactly.
Peterson, Deputy Athletic Director. We talk a lot about football season. We've talked about NIL. I think that it's such a large and complex issue, which means that like when you and I have conversations every 6 weeks, it's like there's so much that shifts and changes. But I just want to say, like, I love what you said about the core of what all this is in college athletics, because that's been true here at Oregon as long as I've been around. I think it's been true as long as you've been around.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
This is where it's going. So let's keep going and embrace it and be the best at it.
Absolutely. And I think that we are doing a great job with it. And I think that our reputation is out there, and that's what matters. And that's helpful when coaches go recruiting. We don't, again, overpromise and underdeliver, which is actually my motto.
That's a good motto.
Yeah.
I mean, that's authentic and good expectation setting.
Exactly.
Right? Clarity.
Exactly.
Clarity matters.
Exactly. Which is one of the things I love about our football coach. Yeah. Because I mean, again, I know that everyone is really disappointed over the weekend.
You know who's the most disappointed? Him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I also think, isn't it better? Like, going undefeated nowadays is incredibly hard. I mean, there's just so many factors that go into that. But as he said, every goal that this team has is still attainable. And, now we know the very specific things that we need to work on. And what I love, I've gotten the opportunity to know quite a few of these players just with the role that I have. And we've got a lot of really good people that are working really hard to do this. And it's not like anybody went out there and tried to, do what happened. And I also think that Indiana's good.
Yeah, Indiana's good.
And it's not a name that's used to being associated with being great in football, but they're really good. And that run pass option every time, like, I don't think, that's hard to defend. So I'm excited for where this season is going. But one of the things that I appreciate about Dan is I think that he's really authentic. I think he's really honest. And I think that, they have worked all week to make some corrections. And I'm excited to see what happens in New Jersey.
I enjoyed being at practice today. Just to put that out there. Like I said that to open the show today. Like, that's how it should feel, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Exactly.
What do you know about Piscataway? Have you been there before?
Well, yes, Joey. I mean, I went to St. John's in New York.
Yeah, so you have the scouting report. That's why I'm asking.
A scouting report? I wouldn't say that. There's no
On
tax.
the area.
There's no tax in New Jersey.
Oh, that's interesting.
Similar to this.
Okay.
And they had the same thing where they would pump gas. I don't know if they've switched.
Is it
like
true?
Oregon has.
Is it true that the chicken parm is the best thing to eat in New Jersey?
Oh, I don't know that.
Okay.
Because I went shopping in New Jersey because it was tax free. Yes, and there's some really beautiful parts of New Jersey, but there's also some not.
Right.
Yeah.
I have spent all of 4 hours in the state of New Jersey.
Oh, really?
That's it.
Well, you're gonna spend a lot more than
A lot
that
more.
now.
Yeah. We'll be there for a full 36 hours.
Yes. It'll be great.
I didn't know if you had a report on Rutgers for us.
I don't. I mean, they're red and white.
Right. Okay. Got it.
I don't think I'm here for the scouting report, though. Right?
I meant the area, like the city,
Yeah, I don't.
The football stadium.
When I went there, I was there in the fall we had a cross country meet that was there, and it was really pretty. The trees were all falling.
Great.
But that was a few years ago.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we will ask for more of the scouting report tomorrow. I have a tidbit for Dusty, so come back for that tomorrow.
There you go.
What else is going on? Anything else that's on your desk these days?
On my desk? I mean, sure. But I was going to ask you, because we always typically do around this time, and I'm not going to be on before it is again, but, I think back of one of our old colleagues, it's coming around Halloween.
Oh.
And so, the whole candy bracket and all of that stuff, like, we had a conversation in the office earlier. So has your favorite candy, where are we with that now that you've got boys? Where are we with all of that? I mean, it's really hard hitting stuff here, Joey. But
Well, we
give the people what they want.
First Halloween party of the year was at the aunt's house last weekend. So
We're
it's
already
like the first of like 4 Halloween parties.
There we go. Okay, so are we changing outfits each time?
No, wanted consistent outfits.
Oh, okay.
The oldest picked to be a dinosaur.
Okay.
My wife was Laura Dern's character from Jurassic Park then for obvious reasons, so that was
That's
funny.
really nice.
Our youngest wanted to be a cow, but I don't think he really had a choice. I think the oldest picked that for him.
Oh, well,
That's what
that'll
happens when
happen.
you're the little
Exactly.
brother.
Exactly.
No, we have not been a huge candy family yet.
Oh.
My son is actually not like a big chocolate fan, which is crazy to me.
I would
yes,
love
hard-hitting
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
The candy bracket winner, for those that are unfamiliar, in the early days of me hosting Duck Insider, I said, well, let's do a candy bracket around Halloween. Craig Pittons helped us out. Craig then also came up with, based on my bracket not being complete enough, he made a candy NIT.
That's
Do
right.
you remember that?
But because Craig Pintons is the only person that I know personally that cannot find a piece of candy that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
Like, he will eat the coconut. He will eat the black licorice.
Right.
He will
See,
eat all of the things that are absolutely disgusting.
And now I remember I did a couple play-in games, right? Because it's the first 4. You got to do the first 4. So I did Red Vines and Twizzlers as a play-in, and Craig was like, no! Those are separate things. And I was like, it's kind of either one or the other for people. I thought that was a good play-in game in the candy bracket, personally.
And if I remember right, he chose Red Vines, and then there ended up being a box in his office at some point along the way.
That happened.
Okay, so if your boys don't like, your son doesn't like chocolate, how are we like on, banana taffy?
He's
or
a
something?
marshmallow fan.
Marshmallow.
He likes a marshmallow.
Okay. All right.
He likes s'mores, but he just won't eat like chocolate by itself. Hard-hitting stuff here.
Wow. Okay, well, Val and I 100% agree that a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup is the top choice.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. So the way that we did it, we had
There's an or, I hear a or.
Everybody in the athletic department, this was now almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
Everyone in the athletic department, pretty much everyone. I had like 180 brackets to go through, and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups was the consensus winner of the candy bracket.
And then for whatever reason, if you get the pumpkin ones or like when it's around
They're
the
better.
holidays, and why?
Because they're fresher. They
Is
haven't
that what
sat
it
on the
is?
shelf for as long. That's
Because
always
somebody
been my
was saying
theory,
the consistent or like the amount of chocolate to peanut butter ratio or whatever in
Ratio's
the
a
shapes
bit
or whatever.
different. I
But-
think it's that they haven't sat on the shelf as long.
I mean,
Like,
that's fair.
That's part of it.
That's fair.
I am not a food expert. Please do not take any food advice or candy advice from this sports talk show.
Do we have, speaking of NIL, Kelly, do we have an official candy of Oregon Athletics, or
No.
can we work on Reese's, Kelly?
So we've had many a suggestion of partnerships. We wanted the 9th inning of Oregon baseball to be brought to you by some antacid because it's always so stressful.
Oh.
Like you
That's
need,
really
like
funny.
You need Tums late in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. But no, we're talking chocolate here.
Not
an acid.
Right, but sometimes those go hand in hand.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Fair. Anyway.
This is what I'll have to ask Trent Kersten now when he comes in next.
Oh.
This is good stuff. This is good stuff.
Poor Trent.
I actually have a big update for Trent on something kind of related to his sport that we talked about last week.
Oh, okay. Not about his packing ability.
No.
Because I know that came up after we had the conversation.
It did come up. I think he's a better packer than you are.
Come on, that's a low bar, Joey.
Look. In most things, we all try to be like Lisa.
No, not in that. Trent, Sunday, our team was right there.
Right there.
Right there in every set.
Fun environment at Matthew Knight
Amazing. Yeah. For people who haven't seen it or been, just hang in there. Hang in there. They're going to get it going. He's going to get it going. Him and his staff are working really hard. But we are right there. We're right there. It'll be fun.
Well, I think Trent's probably outside listening to this conversation about candy.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to hear what his is. You're going to need to find out. You're going to have to let me know where he stands. And if he says no chocolate, might change my...
I don't know what his daughters are fans of. We're going to find out. His daughters are almost the exact same age as my 2 boys.
Oh, that's great.
So they're friends. I guess we'll find out if they like marshmallows as much as my oldest son does. He could eat an entire bag.
I think you need to push the banana taffies.
Okay. Banana taffy. Good recommendation. Lisa Peterson, hard-hitting always, with our Deputy Athletic Director. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Joey.
Trent
Thank you,
Kersten,
Scott.
Oregon Volleyball head coach, coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember, back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son? I left my
Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Trent Kersten, Oregon Volleyball head coach in the Country Financial Studio. Lisa Peterson, Deputy Athletic Director, always leaves us with hard-hitting questions. Okay, context for you. 10 years ago, in the early days of me hosting Duck Insider, I put together a candy bracket. You know, you always do brackets.
Yes.
I just decided, well, let's do it in October.
There you go.
Right? Reese's Peanut Butter Cups was the consensus athletic department winner. I think like 75 of the 180 brackets had Reese's winning it all.
Yeah.
So who's winning your candy bracket, and maybe who's in your final four in your candy bracket?
Yeah, I would definitely go Reese's.
Okay, there's one.
Yeah, gosh. Other ones, just like a classic Hershey's milk chocolate bar.
Like the classic?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the dark chocolate one.
Oh,
or
so
or
both.
anything dark chocolate.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Nerds Clusters.
What a pull by Trent Kersten. That's well done. Nerd Clusters is an elite 12 seed that makes it to the Final Four.
There you go.
That's an elite 12 seed to get to the Final Four. Red Vines or Twizzlers in the first four play-in game?
Neither.
Really?
Neither.
So you're just like, no, nothing.
No.
You just broke Scott's heart.
I know.
Scott would eat both.
Yeah.
But you would eat Twizzlers.
Yeah.
You would eat Twizzlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife's a big Twizzler fan.
Okay.
And I just can't stand it. It's like the one thing that's in the pantry. I'm like, I'm not touching it.
All right. Good to know. Good to know. All right, Coach. It was one of those weird weekends where you go on the road, you come back, and then you play at home.
Yeah.
Break it down for us. How did it go?
Yeah. So, got to go down to SC. We had a match where it was like we were in it until about 15 in just about every set, and then just had a stretch of bad, and we couldn't figure it out exactly how to connect. I think we battled pretty close in one of the sets. but it just wasn't our night type of thing. And there's a couple skill things that they were doing to cause stress. Specifically, one of their servers just went off from the service line. And like there's some matchup things that you can do when that happens, but it was against our two best passers, and so they were not only scoring in that rotation, but they were scoring against two of our best passers, which, if it was something where it was like maybe a passer that was underperforming and for the entirety of the season, then you want to flip that rotation and get a different matchup, something like that.
Sure.
But it wasn't that case, and you got to just kind of tip your hat to a server who's caught that much fire in a match, but she was that impactful. I think she went on a 7 or 8 point run in the first set, and just what we weren't good enough in the other areas to absorb some of that, and then got to come home. Gosh, we had a great crowd. Student section was awesome. Thank you guys for being there for that. And just weren't great in any phase of the game. It was the first time in a while since probably our preseason that we just weren't able to finish points as consistently as we were. Like maybe we missed out. A trend this year has been our serve receive has not been up to par, like up to where it needs to be, and that continued. We're gonna try and grow slowly through that, but it's not like this flip that you can just switch. It's kind of a dial that goes way slower than anyone wants it to go.
That's an interesting analogy. Like instead of flip the switch, it's the dial.
Yeah.
That you turn. That's interesting. It makes sense.
Yeah, and then just had some uncharacteristic things about like finishing plays in coverage or defensive posture or this or that. We got to defend the go a little bit better, which is the opponent's outside hitter. We didn't do near a good enough job against them, and we actually had a great training session this morning, addressed a bunch of the things that we need to work on, and so this team has shown over this year that they can respond.
Yep.
And we were hoping to respond against Washington. Like we were pretty dialed for that match, and it just like, man, you get onto the court and it just wasn't your night again.
You feel like, that happens, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like you try too hard, you're so tense, and then that can happen. I don't know if that's the case. It just seems like sometimes it goes that way for teams.
Yeah, and I think there's so much new to this team, and I'm not looking to make excuses on anything, but this is the first time navigating in October together. And I think you and I have talked about if you can get to Halloween in a good place,
you're okay.
You're okay.
Yeah.
But you got to get to Halloween first.
Yeah.
And we've got to get there. We've got to keep addressing the volleyball things that we need to do, the off-court things that we need to do. And it's kind of like the 2-week hangover of starting classes a little bit.
No doubt.
And so how can you get mad at this team for, messing it up a little bit? And, I'm included in that and getting them ready. This is my first time going through starting school 2 weeks ago and navigating how to handle that, how to handle volume, how to handle all their loads and in the very best way. And so there's going to be so much that we take away from the past 3 weeks that we're going to learn from and be way better for in the future. But you don't get to learn from those things without going through it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like on one hand, you get the student section back, right? You get the pit crew back, and they're there, they're engaged. But certainly that time management, that's a big piece of what you're talking about here with your student athletes.
Totally. Time management, the stressors of school, the stressors of Big Ten play, It just gets amplified. Of our next 14 matches, 12 of them are against top 40 opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, how cool is that?
Right. Great opportunity.
That we have all this opportunity, and we get to play 2 top 20 teams this week.
Right.
Awesome. At home, fire me up. Let's go.
And there's the point. I was just going to make that. At home, Friday, Saturday, you get back-to-back 6 and 7:30. By the way, that 7:30 start time works out great with Oregon football on the road starting at 3:30.
There we go.
I don't know if that was you, Coach, but good scheduling on your part.
Yeah. Yeah, it was me.
Yes! Yes! See, great scheduling by the head coach. And talking, too, about, you have a lot of student athletes that are going through school for the first time.
Yeah.
So to zoom out with you, I want to go to Cora Taylor.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't asked you about Cora a lot, and being one dig shy of a double-double 5 times, a couple statistics shy of a double-double other times throughout the year, I feel like has been really consistent for you, both offensively and defensively. What have you seen from Cora?
Yeah, I've seen her grow and be more and more ready for big moments that she wants to play in. And again, the cool part about her coming to Oregon is she's going to get so many more reps at that going forward, as we talked about her schedule, right? And so she's going to continue to grow in some of those moments. She's going to be sharper. She's going to make better and better decisions going forward. And also, like, as we just find rhythm into lineups and other things like that, she's also proven she's super adaptable, and she can play in the front row. She can, just play in the back row in a 6-2 and be really functional as well.
Yeah. So, Dig Pink matchup against Minnesota at 6 o'clock on Friday. And then 7:30, the opponent is Penn State. Those of you who will be watching from home, 3:30 for Oregon football on Big Ten Network, 7:30 for Oregon volleyball on Big Ten Network. Now, if you're in Eugene, you just make your way to Matthew Knight Arena. But if you're not, you get a Duck doubleheader on Big Ten Network on Saturday, which is pretty fun.
There you go.
See,
Love that.
That's good scheduling.
Yep.
That's good scheduling. What's the report, though, on these two? What can you tell us heading into a home matchup at two, I should say, home matchups at Matthew Knight Arena?
Yeah, so starting with Minnesota, my heart hurts for Keegan a little bit right now, and I've called him. Keegan's a really close friend, and they've lost a couple key players to injury this year, which is a bummer. But they're still very obviously good enough, and they're still very obviously a top 20 team in the country right now. And so they're trying to figure out their lineup, how does their distribution change with some of their injuries that they've had to sustain, and who's going to be having a role in serve receive or not, and all this stuff. But they're still a very, very good volleyball team, And then flipping the script to Penn State. Lost their setter at the beginning of the year. Heart goes out to her and what she's going through. But I think the player to watch is Kennedy Martin. Gosh, she's incredible. She's playing such a great brand of volleyball. I think she's scoring, 6.5 points a set or 7 points a set, and is proven to be one of the top volleyball players in the country.
Well, I'm just going to say those are like Val and a lot of numbers sometimes, Coach.
Yep.
So to put that in perspective for fans, because you do have some pretty great offensive threats that we've seen routinely now this year.
For sure. Yeah, and we're so excited about those two offensively, and hopefully getting Eva going a little bit more and Holly going a little bit more. And, Maria had some nice performances off the bench for us last week. And so I think there's some exciting things. And Sophia Myers played great. She hit over 300 in our match against Washington and did a great job, And so you're starting to see some flashes. It's just like how many times and how many points in a row can we put it together becomes our next kind of standard that we need to hit.
Homestand for the Ducks, Trent Kersten, Oregon volleyball head coach. We covered a lot. Anything else? What did we miss?
That's it. I'll see you guys Friday.
Love it. Coach Kersten, 6 o'clock on Friday, 7:30 on Saturday at Matthew Knight Arena. Going to be a fun environment. Thanks again, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Timeout. When we come back, basketball tickets are going on sale. Stick around on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You told me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. So good to see you real.
Man, Trent Kersten's great. Like, I have just so enjoyed getting to know Coach Kersten this year. This Oregon volleyball team has been really fun to watch with one returning player from last year. One. And the roster construction to be in it in the Big Ten. And I'll tell you what, here's the deal. I say this now that Coach Kersten is hopefully around the corner far enough he can't hear me. If the tournament started today, the Ducks are in it. Like, I think Oregon is in the field if the volleyball tournament started today. And then he said it. If you can get to Halloween and you're in a good place, things are going to be trending in the right direction. Wow, that was good. No one else heard that but me, I don't think. But Scott said, oh, they're going to be trenting. I couldn't even get through that. They're trenting in the right direction. I'm going to need you to just pop on next Tuesday and say, hey, Coach, I think you're trenting in the right direction. Oh, God. You know what? I am not going to throw the yellow flag. We're going to throw the red flag at Scott Phillips today. Unbelievable. The challenge flag has been thrown. Men's basketball single game tickets are now on sale. GoDucks.com has you covered. Also, after sweeping the individual titles at the Bill Dellinger Invitational, Oregon standouts Benjamin Balaz and Diana Chirodich have been named the National Athletes of the Week by the U.S. Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. Men's 8K course in 23:08.2. The Ducks top 5, by the way, at the Dellinger, if you missed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Oh, that's domination. Meanwhile, in the women's 6K, 1858.81 for Diana. Really well done at the Dellinger. That's why you get honors. Trenting in the right direction. See you tomorrow.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind.